Alright, so another project day on aeronautical. You probably saw on one of the last videos that we upgraded the batteries on the boat and using a bank manager to create a hybrid system. And now the final step in that evolution to upgrade our electrical system is to install solar. So we have a Victron MPPT, all the instructions, and a penny. Apparently Carmen thinks that the solar is going to save us a penny. But anyway, we're going to walk through running the cables from the stern of the boat up to the engine compartment. In this boat, the engine compartment's right here in the middle, which means we're going to have to fish some lines, and I'll show you this in a minute. We're going to have to fish some lines from the engine bay here under the floorboard in the aft stateroom, which runs underneath the bed. Unfortunately, that means it's also running underneath the diesel and freshwater tank, the aft freshwater tank, through a bulkhead and back into the aft lazarette, where I'm going to run it up the antenna tower that we're currently using for Starlink. Starlink's going to stay, but we're going to use that same tower to run the cable for the solar panels up to the level where the panels are going to be mounted on top of the davits. So we'll show you all of that. That's the plan today. We're going to get all that done, hopefully get it wired from the battery all the way back to the stern of the boat, and then all we're going to have to do when we come back next week is to bring the panel with us, mount that on the davit, and plug it in, and everything's going to work. Fairly simple installation, but for those of you that have never done anything like this and you're wondering, well, how do I go about doing it, we're going to show you that. As long as you pre-plan all of this stuff and come up with some kind of an idea of how this stuff all goes together, it's a very simple installation. The only two gotchas is that you don't want to be plugging in the panel first. You want to be running from the battery back to the controller and then to the panel. The panel, as soon as you mount it in the sun, of course, is making power, and you don't want to be trying to wire that up while you're connecting everything to the battery. So that's the idea. But anyway, we'll show you that here in a minute, and we're going to get going on mounting this this MPPT in the engine bay and then running cables. Gotta get some daylight in here so I can work. Unfortunately, in our boat, even if I was to take the mattress off the bed and lift up the floor of the bed, the base of the bed, you're still just looking at tanks. So there's really no access to anything. The only option we have is to pull these floorboards and try and run a fish basically up to that corner on this side, the corner, and then underneath that bulkhead. So I'm hoping that with the fish tape we can make that happen fairly easily. And check this out. I've never taken this floorboard up because there's nothing under there. But I just pulled the floorboard, and what I see, I believe that is coax that one of the previous owners had used to, actually no, it's not. I'm not exactly sure what the purpose of that was, but the previous owner ran something which is actually giving me really good access to try and fish it straight back to the lazarette. So that's going to be our first shot. Looks like I might get lucky. So we gotta unload this lazarette. So the bulkhead that I was pointing out from the inside is this one, and it's going to be underneath that floorboard. So I'm going to have to unscrew that floorboard, get it out of here, and then I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to drill right under there in the corner, right underneath where I need this line to run, because it's going to come through here along the bottom of this lazarette, up through the deck here, and then up this tower. The panels will be mounted right here. All right, so we got lucky because I found a spot right down there where Carmen is, where I was able to fish the fish tape through without any holes being drilled and no interference. It's underneath the bunk and underneath the freshwater tank, so I don't have any real access to it, but I think I've got enough space to run the wires. So the idea is I'm going to go back to the lazarette. Carmen's going to be fishing them through from this end, and this is going much easier than we expected. So, you know, it's just one of those deals where you have to look. It took me a bit to figure out a path that was unobstructed, but this is going to be a very easy project if this works. We'll see how it goes. All right, so down here in the lazarette, but we've got the exhaust and the genset exhaust, and everything looks like it's in very good shape. But when I was looking, my original plan was to drill a hole right down here and run it underneath that that floorboard in the stateroom. But after I was looking, I realized that down here, that blue tank is my freshwater tank, and there's about a 3-inch gap right here where I was able to run the fish tape. So I'm going to pull that fish tape out, and hopefully we'll be able to get that line out. Feeling good so far. Got tight again. Huh? Yeah, got tight right there. Got it. I got it. Success. That's all right. Go ahead and untwist them. I've got it on this end. Ow. Good. Oh yeah. Yeah, we got it now. Wire's all routed. There's the plug right there. Right here. So when we get the panels, they're going to be mounted right here on the davit with a little stand to keep them level. Wires are going to come into the tower, down this tower. I'll have to add some plugs to it, and then it's going to plug in right there. I've got everything organized. It was routed underneath this shelf. And then you can see through the, I cut a little wing ear off of that corner through the bulkhead and under the bed up to where we're going to route it to the MPPT. Okay, so next step is to run the cables into the engine compartment, and then quite honestly, I'm still trying to find out or figure out where I'm going to mount the MPPT. I've got a couple of options. One's better than the other, but the better option is going to require moving a couple of fuse boxes. Yeah, I'd really rather not do, but may not have much of a choice. Be looking on the exhaust. Wow, look at this. So this is not how you wire a boat. I don't even know what that is, but that is not how you wire a boat. That is a major fire hazard. So that's going to get redone before I close this thing up. Maybe need to run under here. Not a fan of having it on that exhaust. Just laying on there. I can go under here and get some space, some airspace, and I'd feel a lot more comfortable about that. And the floorboards wouldn't conflict with it quite so much. Is it necessary? Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Don't take shortcuts, people. Don't ever take shortcuts. Do it the right way the first time, and you won't have issues later. There's too many shortcuts being taken in boats these days, and you're just asking for trouble when you do that. So think about it as you're running it. Do it right the first time, and you won't have issues. And you know, quite honestly, I'm not a trained electrician. I don't do this for a living, but I know how to read manuals. If you can read a manual and investigate a little bit as you go, you can figure out how to do it the right way. So do yourself a favor and do it the right way the first time. Okay. All right, I think what I've decided to do is, with any luck at all, I've got enough cable to route it along the sidewall here, down low, below the exhaust, so we're not dealing with any heat transmission or anything, right up to the front staircase, and there's enough room for me to mount the MPPT on the sidewall behind the staircase. See if an old fat man can get inside the engine compartment now. I think I'm gonna have more than enough cable here, which is really, really good. I've got a whole nother coil behind me. Outstanding.
Oh, good. Good, good.
Outstanding. I'm gonna hand that to you, Carmen. Go slow. They're a little twisted. Go ahead and pull. And I think we're good.
Wow.
We're good.
Plenty. Like 2 feet more than we need, really.
Outstanding. You know what? I want to zip tie this right here. You want to bring me a couple of zip ties?
Okay. 2 enough?
2's enough. And the nippers.
Okay.
And I got blood.
Is that blood?
I don't even know how. I don't even know how. It just happens. There's not blood, we're not working hard enough.
Get it on the rug.
So we haven't shown it yet. We may. If you looked at our interior tour, I told you Carmen redid all of the interior in the boat, and I've been warned not to damage our new interior. Yep. So now I can mount that MPPT right there. It actually needs to be down just a tad because heat flows out the top. So right there, which is still plenty of room to flow air around it and run the wires right down there. The only downside that I see to this is we're right next to the water strainer. And not that water is going to be flowing out of that thing, but when you change it, when you open it up to clean it, you run the risk of getting water on there. If I can go there. Lower the door very slowly.
Close it.
Yeah, just lower the staircase very slowly. Keep going. Keep going. That would actually work. All right, so we went ahead and mounted it there. That's our final decision on it. I cut away the insulation right here, just a tab of it, so that when the doors close, there's plenty of airflow off the top of the box. I've checked that several times to make sure. Should have plenty of airflow through there. We do have the terminals run from the panels. That's what I ran from the back of the boat. And I am out of cable, so I'm gonna have to order some more before I can build up the cables for the terminal, battery terminals. But that should be a fairly easy process, and I'll do that tomorrow. All right, so MPPT is mounted and wired up right down the side of the engine bay through there. Negative's going to the load side of the shunt. Positive's going to the positive on the AGM. And all I have left to do is physically mount the panel. The brackets are all built. So all we have to do is lift it up, bolt it into place, and plug them in. And we should be good to go tomorrow. And of course I forgot to film this, but we got the solar panel mounted. That's going to be where it lives. Had the camera all set up, ready to film it, and completely forgot. But the panel actually fits a whole lot better than I expected it to. You can see what I mean now, that engine mount, the outboard mount, is not going to work. But really happy with the way the engine mount, or the solar panel came out. So the intention is to put a new one right there. Now, on this Beneteau, there's an arch right here, and I knew that was there. That's really the best location for this thing. So what I came up with was I found this bracket called a Better bracket, and he makes this. It's actually spec'd for, I think, 125 pounds or 120 pound outboard, and that's perfect because we have a 20 horse Tohatsu, which is about 90 something pounds, so it's fairly heavy. Now the issue was there's a curve in that 1-inch rail right there that I knew was there, and it's really tight on whether or not I can get the width of this in here. But this gentleman makes it for both a 1-inch and a 1 1/4 inch or 1 1/2 inch rail. So I ordered it, and it comes with an adapter kit, which is basically just some pieces of tubing that he cut so that you can put it on the rail like I did there to adjust it. But what that allows me is a much better, larger cutout that's going to accommodate that curve in the rail. So hopefully it's going to go on without any problem at all. We'll see. Let's see if I can do this without dropping anything in the water. Right there. This is going to be a two-handed operation, I think. So I think I might just take that one off. Get rid of this one because I'm not really going to need it. That one is going to work perfect. Okay, so Just get that metal piece right there. And it goes right over the top of these two. Come over to this side so you're not holding it over the water. Put the label on this side. Don't drop it in the water. There you go. Just like that. And
Get me to come around and hold it?
nope. I think it's going to be just fine right there. You just
You
have to
can't
bolt it up. Those are not going to stay. Got ferrules in the end. So and honestly, it's always cleaner when you use a ferrule than using a big connection like this. There we go. So when you're wearing, if you can, it's very easy to use ferrules. It makes it much easier to connect cleanly. It's a very cheap and easy method of wiring. It will keep your job looking professional and clean. So if you can, use them. See if that doesn't help. Thank you. That's good.
Funny.
There you go. Flip it on, flip it off.
Cool.
And this goes to the panel up through here. Alright, so Carmen's going to be our monitor. We've got 0 watts,
Do we hold
no
it?
volts. Nah, you can watch it.
Okay.
Just watch it. Tell me what happens.
Yeah, it's working. 8 watts, 14, 23, 33, 44.
Nice.
Yay!
Look at that. Outstanding. We have solar. Not bad for a couple of days work.